In the chilling chapter of criminal history, the Bandidos Outlaw Motorcycle Organization found itself entangled in a web of murder, power struggles, and pursuit of territory. A similar incident happened in 2006, where 4 Bandidos members allegedly killed a Hells Angels leader. Today we are going to explore the saga surrounding the murder of Anthony Benesch in 2006 and the subsequent convictions of key members involved in the crime. Let's get into it. In 2006, a guy named Anthony Benesch came to a restaurant with his wife and 2 children. It was an unusual Saturday evening. As soon as they finished their meal, they headed towards the car. A bullet came out of nowhere and penetrated right into the brain of Anthony, killing him on the spot. After initial investigation, it was revealed that it was a fine shot made by a professional with meticulous sniping abilities. The restaurant owner reported that even though there were too many people, no one heard or saw anything. So people had no clue how it unfolded. Before we delve into the details of the incident, we are going to have a look at the obsession of these biker gangs with their territories. Biker gangs tend to spread terror and violence in their areas. There's no rocket science behind it, because their only motive is to get hold over a specific area. This obsession becomes even greater when that certain area is one that gave birth to the gangs. Similarly, one of the most notorious biker gangs, the Bandidos, started from Houston, Texas, and it's nearly been 6 decades, but their reign is undisputed in their mother chapter. But once in 2006, this guy named Anthony Benesch made the mistake to challenge their presence in Austin, Texas, and ended up with a horrible fate. It all started when Benesch went out on an audacious mission to establish a Texas chapter of the Hells Angels in Austin. As we discussed above, Anthony is also supposed to be the well-known capital of Bandidos. It was a bold move to approach the territory claimed by the Bandidos. What made it even worse was the rivalry between Bandidos and Hells Angels, because we all know that these 2 clubs have been at war for decades. If it was any other gang, they might have let them operate, but letting Hells Angels get their feet into Texas could never be acceptable, no matter what the cost is. We have to give Benesch the credit as he had the balls to challenge Bandidos, but one thing where he lacked was backup and resources. Despite warnings from Bandidos members to cease his activities and recruitment efforts, Benesch persisted. They tried their best to let him know what could be coming his way, and he kept being arrogant. Maybe he was not taking them seriously, but he must have known that a lion never lets any other lion exist in his territory. Now it was the time when Bandidos showed him their teeth, and they did it by going all the way. His defiance led to a gruesome turn of events, culminating in his murder on March 18, 2006. By this murder, Bandidos made it clear that they have no mercy for anyone who tries to challenge their credibility in Austin. It served as a statement, so no one again tried to make a mistake like Benesch did. Now let's move on to the proceedings and convictions regarding this incident. It kept a mystery for years, but things started to come to the daylight during the 2017-18 period. Things got cleared when real culprits got caught and pleaded guilty. It started with 2 Bandidos members. Johnny Romo, the Bandidos National Sergeant-at-Arms, and Robert Romo, a member of the Bandidos Centro chapter, were also complicit in the murder. They pleaded guilty to related federal charges for their roles in the homicide. These admissions of guilt further unraveled the complex web of conspiracy surrounding the case. Jesse James Benavidez' guilty plea made him the 3rd in connection to the case. Benavidez, the Sergeant-at-Arms of the Bandidos Outlaw Motorcycle Organization's San Antonio Centro chapter, played a central role as he was mainly handling Benesch's case. Not to forget that Jesse was also the one who ordered his murder and orchestrated it. His role in the murder illuminated the calculated nature of the crime. His admission of guilt sent shockwaves through the motorcycle club world and raised questions about the inner workings of the Bandidos. This was by far the most important proceeding in the case. But this wasn't because another member of Bandidos was also guilty for his involvement in aiding and the use of a firearm during the murder, specifically murder in aid of racketeering. Noberto Hammer Serna Jr., another prominent figure within the Bandidos, became the fourth and final individual convicted in this case. His involvement underscored the extent of the conspiracy, as Serna was a former president of a San Antonio Bandidos chapter. And further proceedings started as the case was right on track towards the dark sentences for murderers. As the legal proceedings advanced, Jesse James Benavides, Johnny Romo, Robert Romo, and Noberta Serna all found themselves in federal custody awaiting their sentencing dates. The gravity of their actions weighed heavily on the courts, with life in federal prison as a potential outcome. Jesse James Benavides' sentencing was scheduled for May 28, 2018 in San Antonio, while Johnny Romo and Robert Romo faced their respective sentencing hearings on May 14, 2018 and May 21, 2018. Jesse James was sentenced with 30 years in prison without any parole, but seeing his cooperation in the case and acknowledging his efforts, the government requested the court to shorten his sentence to 15 years in prison. The two Romos were sentenced with life in prison, but as per requests of prosecutors, the sentences were reduced to 15 and 18 years respectively. The longest time in prison was sentenced to ex-Bandidos president Noberto Hammer Serna Jr., as his role in the incident was the worst one. He was sentenced to 260 months or 21 years and 8 months in prison without any parole. The murder of Anthony Benesch and the subsequent convictions of key Bandidos members shed light on the pervasive culture of violence that often characterizes outlaw motorcycle clubs. These clubs, known for their secretive nature and fierce loyalty to their own, frequently engage in criminal activities to maintain their territory and dominance. The case serves as a stark reminder of the dangerous consequences that arise from these rivalries and disputes, which can escalate to extreme violence. The tale of the Bandidos' involvement in the murder of Anthony Benesch stands as a stark reminder of the criminal underbelly of motorcycle clubs and the lengths they would go to protect their territory and reputation. But on the other hand, the guilty pleas and sentences of key members reflect the unwavering determination of the justice system to hold individuals accountable for their roles in the conspiracy. This dark chapter in the Bandidos' history serves as a cautionary tale of the devastating consequences that can arise from the pursuit of power and control, even within the secretive world of motorcycle clubs. Beyond the criminal aspect, the Bandidos' actions had a significant impact on the communities where they operated. The murder of Anthony Benesch not only left a family devastated, but also cast a shadow of fear and uncertainty in the Austin area. Motorcycle club conflicts have a way of spilling over into the lives of innocent bystanders, highlighting the broader consequences of organized crime within society. This was the dark incident in which Anthony Benesch tried to ambush Bandidos in their mother chapter. He had to pay for it with his life. Hopefully you liked it. Make sure you give it a like and share with your friends. Don't forget to leave your suggestions in the comments section.